Fanships are the bread and butter of a fandom. They keep you sustained and satisfied, and can be oh so delicious, as is the case with many of the Avengers fanships from the MCU that have popped up online in recent years. Some are guilty pleasures, while others are a cry for more representation, and some just further explore, relish, and embellish upon the platonic relationships between Marvel characters that we absolutely adore. In case you didn't see our part 1 of this video, here's what you missed. Husbands and Don Cheadle, Coulki, Hawkson, Scarlet America, Science Boyfriends, Clintasha, Steggy, Stony, Scarlet Widow, and this great meme, yeah, and Stucky. So much Stucky. Now that you're all caught up, this time around, we're gonna talk about some very important fanships that we didn't get to in our first video, along with some heavily requested ones you guys suggested in the comments. Speaking of, make sure you guys stick around till the end of the video. We'll be responding to some of the comments that you guys left on part 1. Alright, let's get to it. The top 10 Avengers fanships part 2. Also, heads up, Infinity War spoilers. And at number 10, Romanogers. Back in Captain America Winter Soldier, the headship between Natasha Romanoff and Steve Rogers got some fuel for its fire. Cap and Black Widow made a great team, working together to unravel the mystery behind S.H.I.E.L.D. being compromised. Not only did they have some stellar banter, but they also shared a kiss, prompted by Natasha, as a way for them to become invisible when Strike hunted them down in a shopping mall. Oh, the chemistry. Despite the Natasha-Bruce Banner flirtation in Age of Ultron, fans of Romanogers still have high hopes. By the end of Age of Ultron, the two begin training the Avengers recruits together, and in Civil War, despite being on opposite sides of the Sokovia Accords, Natasha is still there for Steve when Peggy Carter dies. And then in Infinity War, the two are working together again, and save Vision and Wanda from Proxima Midnight and Corvus Glaive. What have they been up to between Civil War and Infinity War? Playing tonsil hockey perhaps? Sorry, let's move on. And at number 9, Domestic Avengers. Moving on to a more adorable and platonic ship, the Domestic Avengers is a family ship, which, to be frank, isn't all that different from what we're used to seeing from the members of the Avengers back in Age of Ultron. The ship itself started after the first Avengers film, and many fans theorized that Stark Tower would become the Avengers Tower, and that became a pretty big basis for a lot of fanfics. Not only just for the domestic Avengers, but other ships too. And then it became a reality, which is pretty great. Ever since the Sokovia Wars and Civil War, we haven't really gone to see the domestic Avengers in full swing. Because let's be honest, fighting Thanos isn't really family bonding time. But the likelihood of us getting more domestic Avengers moments is pretty high, even if it's with a few members missing from the team. But hopefully not. Who knows what will happen in Avengers 4. And at number 8, Capsicoul. Remember how jazzed Phil Coulson was the first time he met Steve Rogers in the Avengers? Phil is most definitely a Captain America fanboy. He's got those adorable cards. And that affection for the Star-Spangled Hero is primarily what fuels the Steve Rogers-Phil Coulson ship. While these days Steve thinks Phil is dead, fans of the ship are hoping that Phil will make a glorious return, revealing himself to the initial Avengers team, and that Steve will be all wide-eyed and run into his arms and everything will be great. Oh, Coulson. And at number 7, Frostiron. Frostiron has some of the most devoted shippers out there. Have you guys seen the beautiful fan art that people have made of them? It's some impressive stuff. Loki and Tony Stark don't have a whole lot of romantic chemistry in the films, but they do have that great scene in the first Avengers film where the two banter back and forth about Loki's plan, and Stark even offers him a drink. And while there isn't a ton to run with from the rest of the films, the fanfic alone of these two is pretty intense. What's not to love? Loki's sexuality in the comics is fluid, and Stark isn't one to shy away from something new, so who knows. Up next, number 6, T'Challkin, the cat and the bird. I see the appeal. T'Challkin is exactly that. A fanship that sprouted from a line that Sam Wilson says to T'Challa upon meeting him in Civil War. That line is then followed up by, "What? Dude shows up dressed like a cat and you don't want to know more? I think we know who wants to know more, Mr. Wilson. I think we do." While some fans have chosen to pair T'Challa with Bucky Barnes because of all their Civil War drama, others prefer this Civil War spawn couple instead. One user on Tumblr named Sam Allcaps Wilson even posted this hilarious breakdown of how their relationship would spark up. I quote, "To chuck you aside for just a minute, think about T'Challa trying to woo Sam away from Steve. T'Challa redesigning Sam's wings to make them faster, lighter, indestructible. Running laps around Steve when Sam invites him on their morning runs. Offering Sam some advanced combat training that's really an excuse to get down and dirty and sweaty. Full body drops where he ends up straddled on top of Sam. Him making Sam Wakanda delicacies and feeding them to him by hand." Yeah, I get the allure. And at number 5, Black Pepper. Black Pepper is the coupling of Pepper Potts and Black Widow. As you can guess, this femslash started up after Natasha's first appearance in Iron Man 2, when she was masquerading as Pepper's assistant and had this glorious introduction scene. While that alone would spawn Tony and Natasha's ship, others were more compelled by her and Pepper's Thor's relationship, a dynamic duo that got shit done at Stark Industries. Imagine how much Natasha despised keeping up the ruse because of Tony, but imagine how great it would have been working for Pepper. Gwyneth Paltrow cashing those checks. And at number 4, Winter Widow. Speaking of Natasha, she's got yet another ship on this list, this time between her and the Winter Soldier, Bucky Barnes. While the two haven't depicted a whole lot of chemistry in the films together, minus, having a history of trying to kill each other, in the comics Black Widow and Bucky have a pretty hot and heavy relationship with one another. No doubt that this has led many a fan in the comics to want this coupling to happen up on the big screen. And why wouldn't they? As far as romances go, in the comics these two have given us many a steamy moment, just by talking to one another. Yeah, so hey, who knows, maybe in the Black Widow feature film, something might happen. And at number 3, Peter Parker and Shuri. The internet recently had a freakout after Avengers Infinity War was released, concerning two characters who never actually crossed paths in the film, but would be the best pairing ever, romantic or platonic. We're talking Peter Parker and Shuri, the latest most popular OTP. Shuri, the sister of Black Panther, is the smartest individual on Earth in the MCU. Peter, while still learning, has got some serious brains himself. Both are considered to be characters who bring lots of positivity and lightheartedness to the MCU, and both are capable of kicking some serious butt, all while being the Gen Z dream team that we didn't know we needed. While the two have yet to meet, the internet is running wild with the possibilities of what would happen if they did cross paths. They'd not only be the best of friends, but oh my, they would be the cutest couple. As one user named UnderRuzy posted, I quote, "Marvel Studios could make a film of only Shuri and Peter watching Vines on a couch, and Peter crying because it won't come back, and then Shuri buying it so that they can binge watch every iconic Vine on existence for 2.5 hours. And honestly, I would watch the hell out of that film 5 times on the same day for a week straight." Yeah, that's 2. Also, ship name suggestions, anybody? I've seen science buddies flown around, kinda like the new and improved Science Bros, but I feel like we could get a bit more creative than that. And at number 2, Thorki. Thorki is the shipping of Thor and Loki. It's totally fine because they're not actually brothers, you guys. Loki has always been Thor's main antagonist. It's how he was introduced in the comics, and for the first phase of the MCU, that was his role too. But after their work together in Thor the Dark World, yes, the MCU film that we all wish was a whole lot better, the brothers became pretty good teammates, and this carried through into Thor Ragnarok. They trust each other. And then when Loki is killed by Thanos at the beginning of Infinity War, I said spoilers, oh god, the pain that rifles through Thor is almost too much. The relationship has grown so much over the last almost decade, and if the fan art and fanfic is any indicator, shippers hope that we'll see this bromance transform into a romance. Or at least, further their relationship even more. Loki'll come back. Tom Hiddleston is actually contracted to come back in Avengers 4, so he'll be there. And lastly, in our number 1 spot, Ironstrange, aka Awesome Facial Hair Husbands. Another very recent ship to set sail in the hearts of MCU fans is the pairing of Doctor Strange and Iron Man, known as Ironstrange, or Awesome Facial Hair Husbands, if you're going by the comics. Dear god, how perfect are they? While it may look like a blossoming bromance to some, others see it as a blossoming romance between two very different yet two very similar powerful intellectuals. Prior to Avengers Infinity War, fans were really hyped about how Stephen Strange and Tony Stark would interact with one another. Fans of the comics are no stranger to the duo's banter in the panels, and it more than translated onto the screen, with the two characters annoyed with one another at first, but then working together, along with the members of the Guardians and Spider-Man, to execute an almost perfect plan against Thanos on Titan. It fails because of Star-Lord. But we did get to see Doctor Strange save Stark's life, which was likely concerning a very important plot point for the next Avengers film, but still gave fans of the ship some necessary fuel for their Ironstrange fires. Alright, there we have it, friends. Now it's time to read out some of your comments from our Avengers Fan Ships Part 1 video. And I will probably pronounce most of your names wrong, sorry. Starting us off with a comment from Kira, "I'm a simple girl. I see Stony, I click. Preach girl, preach." Next up, a comment from Koro Sensei, "I ship myself with Doctor Strange." Yeah, who doesn't? Except maybe those weirdos who think Benedict Cumberbatch looks like a foot, but clearly they are wrong. He also looks like other stuff too. From Calm Down Kitten, "Stucky all the way. Actually, as a gay guy myself, I would love to see any LGBT representation at all in the MCU, but mostly Stucky." Yeah, we hear you there. While the MCU is starting to incorporate it a bit, specifically with Valkyrie who debuted in Thor Ragnarok, it would be really cool to see more representation in general from such a massive franchise. Cause, not only straight people can be heroes. In complete contrast to that, we've got a comment from Jer Hartakainen. Hartakainen? I'm sorry. Who says, "What the hell, I just see that's freaking disturbing. It's not MGU, Marvel Gay Universe. By the way, Scarlet Widow ain't so bad because 2 womans." So how does that logic work then? From Emilio Fokker, "How did I, a huge lesbian who is always thirsty for femme/ships, never even consider Wanda and Natasha as a couple? I'm a failure to myself." First off, you are not a failure. Second, you're welcome. From Rabbit Man, in all caps, "This lady is a noob. Captain Marvel is going to revive Loki. Noob." Oh, please do tell us more about your theory. theory. This noob is ever so curious about how that'll go down. From Jerkin2200, when she said Don Cheadle is super adorable, I literally cringed. Girl, you know damn well. I don't really have a response to that, I just thought it was hilarious. From Haley Hamilton, I punched the wall when she said Stucky was #1. Out of frustration or pure unbridled joy? I'm hoping the latter. Also, hope your hand's doing alright. From What The? Do you ever fall asleep for like 2 seconds then wake up to find out that you're halfway through a video about Marvel ships? Cause let me tell you, like every day man, it's kind of becoming a problem really. Nightcore Subliminals says, Spidey and Shuri would be amazing. He would show her the web shooters and she would make her own and they would annoy T'Challa together. Also, everyone would ship it except the two of them. Before they admitted their feelings, everyone would be all, oh my god, you two are so cute. And there would be loads of blushing from them and smirking from Tony. I'm gonna go find some fanfic, bye. Sorry, why aren't you the one who's writing the fanfic? And Marvel, you listening? This needs to happen. Emma Cat says, I love Stucky and really wish they had gone that route rather than the one where they pushed Cap and Sharon Carter together because it's 1, weird, and 2, so blatantly forced that even the writer said so. Thank you. While I'm all for Stucky, I would literally rather see anyone else with Cap than Sharon. What does she really add to the narrative? And how on earth could we ever expect Cap to want to be with her, all things considered with Peggy? And I think his character's principles would be like, nah, this isn't right. Yet he's making out with her in Civil War. And was supposed to have a scene with her in Infinity War, but thankfully that got cut. His OTP is Bucky, you guys. Bucky is his numero uno priority. Always has been, always will be, even if it's platonic. And last but not least, some more Stucky love from Bucky Barnes' Cool Blueberry 1. When she said and #1, I was just thinking, Stucky, Stucky, Stucky. And she said Stucky and I was like, yas. Dreams do come true, friends. Dreams do come true. Alright, so out of all the ships that we've discussed on this list, which of them are your favorites? Give us a shout in those comments below. And hey, we might even do a part 3 and do this all over again with 10 more. In the meantime though, if you dug this video, please show us some love and hit that like button. Make sure you subscribe. And feel free to take a look at our other MCU videos that are currently chilling in that playlist on your screen. Thanks for watching everybody. I'll catch you all in the next video.